In today's Leeds news, Byram would consider staying. Ben Davies linked again. Manager of the Month nomination. Coleman returns to Leeds. And dressing room reaction to Meslier. Morning folks, welcome back to The View. Thursday morning, the 9th of January with your Leeds United news. Hope you're having a good week so far. There's a little bit of stuff to get into, very light on the transfer stuff. Daniel Farke's press conference is taking place today, and going from what Graham Smith and other journalists have said online, there will be questions to Daniel Farke around the transfer window and what Leeds are doing. Obviously Sunderland making a very big move yesterday to bring in Enzo Lufc to the club. Burnley and Sheffield United both very active in getting their deals done early. Already Leeds currently still sitting on their hands but top of the table, but only by a point, and that should be something Leeds consider going into this window. If their rivals strengthen, Leeds probably needs it as well, so we'll see if that kick starts them into action. But we'll start off with the news today around Sam Byram's future at the club, and the Leeds United fullback Sam Byram has been speaking with BBC Radio Leeds over this week, and his season-to-season plans with Leeds United are coming to an end again, and the future of his career at Leeds came up in the conversation. Byram's current deal expires at the end of this season, as his deal did last season. And despite being told regularly that Sam can't play lots of games for Leeds, he's clocked up 11 starts for Leeds this season, as well as playing in 21 games all up. He's got a goal and an assist to his name as well. And speaking to BBC Radio Leeds on his future, Sam said the following. Obviously, I'd love to stay here, but it's not always in the control of the player. For this season, my aim is to get Leeds promoted, and whatever comes after, that will come. Sam went on to talk about getting promoted at Leeds United and returning to the club in order to help the side to get promoted would be the pinnacle of his career. And on that topic, he said the following. I think with any sort of goal you're striving for, you never really focus on when it's there. You're trying so hard to get to it. If and hopefully when it comes, then you really sit and reflect. For me, if we were to do that, I can't think of anything in my career that I would have done that would top that. Byram's been a fantastic signing for Leeds United. He cost us nothing. He came back in to fill a role and a couple of gaps when needed, and has played a huge amount of games for Leeds in the last 2 years, considering the injury history that he has had. He has long paid back the wages that he was given in this contract, and it would be interesting to see if the 49ers do look to give him a new deal going into next season if Leeds are promoted to the Premier League. Byram himself on that topic did say that he hasn't heard anything from the club around the contract extension. That seems to be what's going around the houses at the moment, that there's not a huge amount of decisions being made on player contracts in this window. They will probably look at it the closer the end of the season comes and where Leeds' future next season will be. Moving into the only transfer link of today, and I would take this one with a pinch of salt. It's very much in the rumour mill territory here, and Give Me Sport and CBS journalist Ben Jacobs, who does have a very good track record, he has claimed that Leeds still have an interest in Tottenham Hotspur fullback Ben Davies. This time last season, Leeds United showed interest in Davies as Leeds were looking for cover in their fullback positions. Leeds were light enough at that point, and they ended up bringing in Connor Roberts in the right back role, who unfortunately had some injury problems and didn't play as many games as we would have liked at that point. But according to Ben Jacobs, he suggests a deal in this window could still be done and would be one to watch in the coming weeks. And speaking on the topic, Jacobs said the following. With Ben Davies, I think he will also be gone. The same applies to Fraser Foster as well. With Davies, the natural thing is to run down his contract. Leeds United remain interested in a player, so that could be one to watch in the coming weeks. It's not a priority position for Leeds United. Daniel Farke has already shown he's happy to play Max Verber, a left-sided centre-back in the left-back role, despite the fact he's got a left-back cover on the bench. So Farke's got plenty of options in that role. Bringing in another ageing left-back who has only played 2 games all season this year and he started 1 game for Spurs doesn't seem like the kind of player that would fit with Daniel Farke's model. He's not playing games. He's not match sharp. He's 31 years of age. He's come into a position that Leeds kind of have cover in already. So, yeah, one that I just don't see happen. Let me know in the comments what you would do in that situation. Is Ben Davies a player you would bring in at this point, or do Leeds have more priority positions they probably need to be keeping an eye on? Moving on to talk about Daniel Farke, and Leeds manager Daniel Farke has been nominated for the first time this year for a Manager of the Month award, and he is up for the December's Manager of the Month award. Leeds had a fantastic December, booking what happened this time last December, with a run of 5 wins and 1 draw in the month of December. Leeds kept 4 clean sheets during that time and scored 13 goals as well. And the winner will be announced on Friday the 10th of January, and Daniel Farke will be up against Marty Cifuentes from QPR, Scott Parker from Burnley and Danny Roll from Sheffield Wednesday. All clubs that had very, very good December. It's interesting to see if he can pick up that one. I think he picked up 3 Manager of the Month awards last season. 4 was the record for a Leeds manager. See if he can start that run going, and if Leeds can get into a more dominant run in the second half of the season, maybe he can pick up a couple of more as well. Moving on to number 21, who's returned to the club, and Leeds loanee Cian Coleman has finished his loan spell with National League side Buxton and has returned to Leeds United temporarily. At least Coleman enjoyed a very productive spell at the National League side, playing 12 times for them and scoring 4 goals and getting 2 assists as well. 3 of the 4 goals, it should be said, did come in one game. He had a hat-trick performance against Scunthorpe United. But Coleman had a very, very successful period there, was very well liked, and had some lovely messages from Buxton as he left the club. Coleman can go out on loan again this season, having only played for Buxton on loan in the National League and for Leeds United under 21, so he can move again if he wants to. And news around the club suggests that his contract expiring at the end of this season, it looks like Coleman will go out on loan and possibly move away from the club at the end of the season, similar to Sonny Perkins' situation, and he could move on a permanent move, full stop, in January. It doesn't look like Cian Coleman's contract is going to be extended at the end of the season, but depending on how he goes behind the scenes, you never know. And moving on then to the final story of today, and this one relates to the reaction and what's been going on with Meslier at Leeds United. And the goalkeeping position at Leeds is still the most talked about topic of this week in Leeds. And Daniel Farke will likely have questions to answer today on the goalkeeping position and what he will do in a reaction to Meslier's mistakes against Hull City. But Leeds United defender Sam Byram has been speaking about the behind-the-scenes reaction to the mistakes, and Byron insists that his teammates are helping Meslier get through what is a difficult personal period for him, and that the initial raw reaction that was caught on camera with Joe Rodon and Joe Rothwell's reaction is hard to control in the heat of the moment. But he insists that behind the scenes the players are all very supportive of their goalkeeper. And on the topic, Sam said the following: "All you can do is support your teammates. At the moment it's such a high pressure environment. Every player will make mistakes. As a goalkeeper, if anything you do leads to a goal, it's under the microscope. If you're a striker and you miss, or a fullback and your man beats you, it doesn't always lead to a goal, and it doesn't come under as much scrutiny. As a team, we back each other. Everyone is doing their best, giving 110% every game, and if someone is having a tough time, we put our arm around them. That's what we do here." In the short term, Carl Darlow will likely take up the position in goal against Harrogate Town. Depending on how that game goes on Saturday, the obvious thing would be to ease him into the Sheffield Wednesday game and give Meslier, if nothing else, a break from the firing line for a little bit and try and redeem or regroup his confidence to go again. But whether Leeds make a move for a goalkeeper in this window, I'm sure Daniel Farke will give us some indication today. Probably won't be an awful lot, but we'll get some insight into that. And if that does happen, then we'll know where we stand with this. But I think in the short term, Carl Darlow seems like the obvious option. He's done very, very well for Wales this year when he has played. He knows Ethan Ampadu and Joe Rodon quite well if he's to play in that team, so there's relationships there outside of obviously knowing them quite well from behind the scenes at Leeds, but he's played with them at Wales as well and has had good reports from his matches there. So yeah, it's a big decision for Daniel Farke. We'll see what he says today in the press conference. Some of you who've watched this will already have that answer. We'll see what he says, and we will cover it tonight again. We'll have the match day preview with Andrew Stats Dalton tonight at 7 o'clock. You can check that out here on the channel as we look ahead to the Harrogate game and the likely fallout from what Farke says today, as well as what Leeds will be doing in the January window. Ben Jacobs, who has a report today around Ben Davies, will be joining us on the channel later this month to talk about the January transfer window. There will be some updates on that today on the channel. You can keep an eye out for that. And I will talk to you tonight for the review and tomorrow morning for Leeds news. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.